Hello everyone, it is time to tune up the band and get ready for another Sweet Chinwag Sweet Chin-terview. Again, bring you the second episode as part of our Being Proud series, exploring LGBTQ plus identities through the lens of professional wrestling, professional wrestlers, and content creators, and all manner of other online media professions. This week, we are joined by the Notorious Amber Jo. Amber Jo is the first trans wrestler to come through the Rev Pro Academy and is going through setting records and setting first all over the British independent scene, and we are so thankful to have her joining us. We hope you enjoy. Amber Jo, it is lovely to have you joining us, and we are so happy that you decided to join us as part of this bunch of interviews.
Thank you. No, the pleasure is all mine. I would say the pleasure is all yours, but
well, of course it is mine. Partially, but
pleasure is all mine. You're more than welcome. I've been on a quest. I've just figured out I've had more podcast interviews than I've had matches.
There we go. Independent wrestling in 2021. I'm sure there are many people that have had that exact same situation. So, starting off, going into our first question, as we've been doing with the rest of the series, what does it mean to you to be a representative of or for the trans community in wrestling?
Well, I mean, it means a lot to myself as well, especially in the United Kingdom, where we lack the trans representation and things, especially in the wrestling community.
Yeah,
I mean, we had, this isn't me, from someone called Drew Ashlin, I think, who is one of the first openly trans women. Isn't me being from the top of my head, this was a very, very, very long time ago, back in 2013, I believe. They no longer wrestle. So I'm currently one of the only ones still wrestling with someone else that I didn't know of. So this is all new. But I mean, there's literally just three of us. But when obviously like in the States, you have Mariah Marino, you have Nyla Rose, New Zealand, you have like Candy Lee. Yeah. And it's a very big, I'm lost for words. It's a very big accomplishment as well to myself and to these other trans women, to be like, right here in Britain, to be like, hey, we need that representation here.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is inspire other trans women. I actually have a friend who has just came to me and is getting her gear made. She is a transgender woman herself. She's younger than me, but has started transitioning before I have. Her name is Cami Carr, and she turned around and said, "I've always loved wrestling, and you've inspired me to proceed in my wrestling dreams." And that's what I want. I want other trans women to come to me and be like, "You've inspired me."
Yeah.
As long as they don't take my spotlight, we're totally fine. But
we don't deal in infringement here. Inspiration first.
But no. In all seriousness, and that's all I want is to feel like I've inspired people, to be themselves, like Paige and Nyla Rose and many other women in wrestling have inspired me to be myself.
So for you right now, does it feel like a much bigger statement being a trans woman wrestler in the UK?
Definitely. I mean, it's to the point that there's hardly any of us in the UK.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more there are of us, the bigger, the UK wrestling industry will become with the trans community. I mean, as I was saying about my friend, who's a trans woman and approached me and said that I've inspired her. I mean, the more of us there is, and the more of us that branch out, the more that are gonna be like, oh, it's perfectly acceptable to be a trans woman in the UK and to want to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want, is to inspire people, and it's so important to have our stories heard and to showcase what we can do and be like, I kick ass. I'm a transgender woman. I rock how I look, and I kick butt. So
yeah,
pretty much it.
It's just that thing of being like, this is us. We're here. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I was saying to my friend Cami, the one I was talking about, and I said, wouldn't it be cool if we got so many more trans women and we had a British or transgender inclusive promotion, or even a trans women's stable in Britain? So I was like, as soon as she starts training, as soon as she's ready to have matches, me and her are going to be the first UK's transgender tag team.
And that is just something that is amazing to know that is happening.
Yeah. We want to inspire. I mean, she's got the social media follows. I've got the strength, the looks. I already wrestle.
It's a perfect team.
Exactly. I mean, what can go wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. What can go wrong? How far do you think wrestling has given you a space to kind of explore your identity or your presentation?
It's kind of, the question's come up before, but it's been worded differently. It's definitely helped me find the real me.
Yeah.
You know, before wrestling, I always thought that I had to be this prim and gorgeous, makeup every day, heels all the time, chick flick kind of girl.
Yeah.
And then when I started wrestling, I've always been into sports, and I was like, trans women can't do sports. What the hell am I talking about? But then I was like, please excuse my language, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. And wrestling's made me realize that I should just be myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not the pretty girl that people say I should be. I'm not always in a dress like how people think trans women should be. I'm not feminine. I'm a goth and I'm a tomboy and I'm a trans woman that does bloody sports. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's all because of wrestling, and it's helped me find myself. And I mean, without wrestling, I think I'd be lost in the dark and being someone that I'm not.
I think that's amazing to know and to think about, the way, you know, the kind of process that you went through with that, from being like, oh, well, I can't do this, to, okay, well, you know, is that I can't do this to, no, I can do what I want to do. I just need to put myself to it.
Yeah, and a lot of it is thanks to my two really close friends from the States, Mariah and Nyla. Like, you know, I've bonded with them too. You know, and they're my sisters. Like, yeah, and they've inspired me so much. And they were like, right. And if I need advice on transitioning or wrestling, they're always there. And that's what we need. And that's what we need in the UK. That's what, you know, I'm hoping me and my friend Cami, once obviously she comes up, I hope that we could be the Mariah and the Nyla in the British scene, you know, bring young trans girls up, show them it's okay to be yourself. We don't have to be the stereotypical that social media has portrayed us to be. We don't have to be all boobs and bum. We can do sports. And that's so needed in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having that support network there and having that space for other trans women to go to that want to, you know, start making their way in is such an important part that I think a lot of people actually tend to kind of forget about the process of it. So following on from that, do you think that being in wrestling has helped you in any way experiment or play around with how you present yourself?
I mean, I have experimented the wrestling as a girly girl. Not me.
Yeah.
You know, so I've dibbled and dabbled to find who the Notorious Angel is, and I found her. You know, I want to be that big girl, that pretty face. I mean, you look at me and you're like, oh, she's just another pretty face. She ain't gonna make it. And then I have muscle, but yeah. I want to move. I want to move around the ring like the men. You know, a lot of most of my style comes from people like Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, John Cena, The Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, like just none of the high flying stuff.
Yeah.
TJ Wilson, you know, Tyson Kidd. He's one of the most underrated professional wrestlers.
Oh, we will sing that from the rooftops.
And you know, like I want to look. Obviously, because I am a woman, I want to look like a woman. I want to look like a pretty face, but I want that big build. I mean, I've always said my body goal is Chyna.
See, so what I was going to say was from other female wrestlers that we've spoken to, especially more modern ones, how high would you rate Chyna along your kind of list of inspirations?
Mm-hmm. See, Chyna's number one. So it goes, my top 5 is Chyna, Paige, Karma, Lita, Trish, Mickie James.
Illustrious list right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best. They're like the best female talent. Yeah, Chyna's high up. I mean, I didn't steal it.
Yeah.
I borrowed it.
Inspiration.
Yeah. You know, I read her book from, obviously I train at the Portsmouth School of Wrestling, and they had her book. I was like, I'm reading this. And I was like, oh, and I remember saying to one of the coaches who's no longer with us, I was like, oh, I forgot to bring in the book today. He was like, keep it. No one else reads it. No one else is interested in Chyna as much as you are. So I was like, so it's tucked in my little memory box. So it's actually in a memorial box with some of the family that I've lost, like my auntie and my stepdad. And Chyna's actually in that box because even though I didn't know her, I never met her, I feel like she's a part of me. Yeah. And so she's stored safely.
I think that's great. Touching on what you said a little bit before, how was some of that? Some of those early stages of when you were trying to figure out what the Notorious Angel is, who you were as a wrestler?
I mean, to be completely honest, I'm still figuring out. You know, I'm still very new, and I still have so much to learn. But I think like people are looking at me because, you know, I not blowing my own trumpet. I have been an inspiration. You know, I have made history, and that's without a doubt. You know, not many transgender women, I mean, not because a lot of us wrestle over here, but not many women can be like, okay, I'm the first trans woman to compete with Rev Pro in history. Yeah. You know, so I'm still finding who I am, but I kind of want to dibble dabble into being a heel, but I want to play it smart. Because I kind of low-key, I love Nikki Bella, and I love the fact that she is a kick-ass heel, but she still gets cheered because everyone loves her. And that's what I want the Notorious Angel to be.
Yeah. The kind of person that I almost want to say you hate to love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've even thought about being a massive heel and using my transition as an excuse to be why I'm better than the other women, because it's that instant heat from the crowd. I'm not allowed to be a heel with Rev Pro. I say this every interview, and Andy Gordon still hasn't changed his mind. But yeah, so I want to try especially with Rev Pro, because they want me to be a babyface. I want to try and see how I can have that heel temper and work that into a babyface.
Yeah.
So it's
how you can show off, both sides of it, a rounded character.
And it's gonna be tricky, but I have the best coaches in England, so not blowing my own trumpet.
Yeah.
Or blowing their or bigging them up.
Blowing the trumpets of the people at the Rev Pro school in Portsmouth.
Yeah, I mean, Julia, Saraya Knight has been wanting me to go over there, and I'm like, okay. And I mean, I love Rev Pro, but WAW, come on, like, you'll be a fool to turn that down. So I'm like, okay, I need to find a way to get there, especially because it's obviously Paige's family, and I've modeled a lot of my character from Paige, and I want to learn what she learned and take that into me, and obviously help my way to, make history again and be the first trans woman to be signed by WWE. That's my dream. So I will be coming. The Ray and Knight will just have to wait.
It's running in the back.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Going on to the next bit. I'm going to phrase it as, how do you think, or do you think wrestling is slowly becoming a more queer-friendly space?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's still a long way to go.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And again, I want to touch on the subject of WWE. They're doing really well. I mean, Sonya Deville, Tegan Knox. Sorry. Tegan Knox, Jake Atlas.
Yeah.
So they're doing well, but they haven't got me yet. So they're not doing that well.
See, they haven't hit perfect yet, but they're on the route there.
Perfect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still anticipating. I think the Notorious Angel versus Charlotte Flair would be a great match.
Instant draw.
There you go. I mean, they took away my WrestleMania dream, which has always been me versus Braun Strowman.
I mean, I'd pay for that match immediately. So,
but they released him, and I cried.
We were shocked as well when we found out.
Yeah, but no. It's definitely getting there. There's still a very long way to go, but we didn't get the rights that we have now in 5 minutes.
No.
So, I mean, wrestling's just going to have to be the same. We have to wait, and we have to work our way towards it. And, people like, again, not blowing my own trumpet, people like myself, Nyla Rose, Jake Atlas, Sonya Deville, I think we're definitely going to be changing that ball game.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And like you said, it is a long process. It does take time. I guess for myself, as a person who's very much a fan of independent wrestling, I've seen that almost explode as a queer-friendly space.
Yeah. I mean, talking about queer-friendly independent wrestling, I mean, Pride Pro.
Yeah, Pride Pro in the UK, which
I've been trying to get on there, but for far too long. I mean, I've been wanting to tweet them and be like, hey, you can't be an LGBT-friendly promotion and not have the Notorious Angel. I mean, come on.
I know, that's just ridiculous.
Do I want to ruin my chance? But no, I've been trying to get on their books, and I think that will not only would it really benefit myself and make me feel like, oh my God, I'm at a promotion that's all LGBT friendly, but I think I believe it will also be beneficial for, the whole Notorious Angel character.
Yeah.
I want to be that trans hero, but I want to be a bad girl. So.
Who says you can't be both?
Well, I mean, there are many, many promotions, so I can mix and match. No. Yeah. But no,
you can do it Effie style. You can be a face in one place and a heel in the other.
Definitely, I will hold. But no, I want to be that trans hero, but I want to do it while being a bad bitch.
Yeah.
So I think I've rephrased that better.
And then just finally, What would your message be to any trans people, trans men, trans women who feel they might be excluded from wrestling, whether or not that's becoming a wrestler or watching?
You're never excluded. There's no such thing. I thought that. I also thought, because I am very open about my special needs as well. But there's no such thing. Just do what makes you happy, and if that's wrestling, then do it. I mean, wrestling has, I dabble as well with mental health. I mean, wrestling saved my life countless of times. I thought I had no purpose, and then wrestling has been like, actually, this has been my dream career since I was 5, and now I'm doing it. And it's very beneficial. I mean, even if you don't want to be a professional wrestler, I mean, as well, just as a trans person, wrestling something you really should dabble into. It can help find yourself.
Yeah.
But never think you're excluded from anything. Whether it's wrestling, whether it's tennis, football, basketball, whether it's beauty pageants. I've been trying so hard to get into Miss Great Britain UK, and I've still been denied. But every year I'm going to keep applying until they change their mind. And that's the mindset you have to have. Keep pushing the limits until they finally give in.
Yeah. I think that's amazing. That kind of, especially that kind of view, but that approach of you've just got to put yourself into it. You've got to commit to it.
As well, before we finish, I do want to let you guys be the first that I can officially announce. So, last week I've been very absent. I was actually filming a TV teaser for a TV show that I'm going to be in very, very soon. And it is LGBT friendly. I can't say what channel, I can't say what the name is, and I can't say when it's released. All I know is I'm doing something that's not wrestling, but something else I've always wanted to do. I've become a reality TV star, babies.
There we go. The Notorious Angel coming to your screens at home soon.
Yes. And it's not wrestling. I mean, I will be wrestling in it. A little spoiler. But yeah, no, keep your eyes out, and I'll definitely keep everyone posted. And I'm so glad I finally am able to say that. I'm going to be on a TV show.
There you go. On TV, everyone's going to know your name. Everyone's going to know you. It's going to be amazing.
I mean, all I keep thinking is the amount of promotions that are going to see this and then going to be like, oh, okay.
Who's that?
This is why we need to have the Notorious Angel here. She is a bad bitch. And then the more promotions I'm booked at, the more of the UK that I branch and wrestle in, the more people can see who I am, and the more people I can inspire. So I'm being humble, but I'm also taking what I want and what I deserve, at the same time of being humble and giving back.
Of course, that you can be as humble as you want, but you have to take those opportunities that are given to you. Mm-hmm. And like you said, this is your chance to put yourself out there for, as I said, more people to see the Notorious Angel. That's more bookings. That's another step up the ladder.
Like, hello, I make waves here.
Yeah.
There is a reason that there is literally a reason why my thing is smashing faces, going places.
Oh yeah.
I mean, people can be like, oh, you're going to be on top of you're literally going to be on the peak of the mountain once, obviously, this TV show airs and once everything else gets out there. Be like, you can think I'm on the peak of the mountain, but I will never, ever be on the top of the mountain.
There's always more places to go. It always gets bigger. It always gets better.
Exactly. And I can't wait. I cannot wait what the future holds for me.
And we cannot wait either. For us,
can't wait for Pride Pro to announce me.
I mean, yes, of course.
We should like at the end of this interview.
Everyone that's listening to this, like, or watching it, get it going, right? Get it going.
Hashtag Amber for Pride Pro, right?
There we go.
At the end of this interview, we should do one of those hypnotize things.
Yeah. There we go. Sam, you heard that, right? Sam.
But no, it's been a pleasure chatting with you all.
No, it's been amazing.
Thank you to everyone that is listening to my awful voice. But yeah, before I close up, I just want to tell everyone to be yourself. You know, be your own kind of beautiful and not someone else's vision. And please yourself before you please anyone else.
Oh yeah, that is an important lesson for anyone to learn.
You know, you just got to be who you are. I mean, being who you are takes time. Discovering who you are takes time. But at the end of it, it's all going to be worth it. And if anyone needs anyone to vent to, and anyone that feels like they can't come out but really want to come out, you know, and I'm sorry to use this as publicity, you know, my Twitter handle is @DAmberJo_pro. It's the same with my Instagram. My DMs are always open, and if you want to come out to me, come out to me. And I'd feel like a proud mum. I really would.
Yeah. No, we absolutely echo that for any of our listeners who feel that exact same way. All three of us have gone through that similar process.
I mean, I've been through it. I'm a Christian girl as well, and I grew up in like a very homophobic neighborhood. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready to come out, you're not ready to come out. That's fine too. But if you want to come out, but you don't want to come out to your family, and you just want to be like, hey, I'm gay, I'm trans, I'm a lesbian.
You need that space to do it.
You know, my DMs are open.
Yours are open. Ours are open.
There you go.
Thank you very much, because we were going to ask you anyway, so it gets it nice and out of the way.
I was like, let's get it in there.
I got to get my stuff in. But no, it's been amazing having you joining us. We're so thankful that you're willing to join us and to talk so frankly and openly about your experiences.
I'm a very open person, and I think everyone's got that from 5 podcasts that I've done now.
There we go. Number 6 incoming.
It is as well. Next week.
There was someone we spoke to just recently, and they said, "Yeah, I've got one happening about an hour after we're meant to be finishing up your one." So,
I love it. I love it. I mean, I love these things as well. I've wanted my own, but I could never know what to talk about, and my voice is so boring. But anyway, yeah, the pleasure's been all mine, and I want to say a huge thank you to you and, you know, everyone at Sweet Chinwag for having me on. No. I did get the name right, didn't I?
You did get it right. You know the product.
But yeah, no, thank you to everyone having me on, and I can't wait to listen to my own horrible voice.
It's exactly how I feel about hearing my own one, so. But no, yeah, this has been another Sweet Chinwag Sweet Chin-terview with Amber Jo. Thank you very much.